A little over 4 years ago, Ram introduced the very first ever TRX to the lineup. Now, the TRX essentially stole the crown away from the Ford Raptor to be called the factory-built off-road truck king. However, just like the T-Rex that shares its name, the TRX was essentially on borrowed time due to its fuel-thirsty supercharged V8. However, today I'm actually here at a studio just outside of Detroit, Michigan, taking a look at that truck's replacement. This is essentially a new model called the 2025 Ram RHO, with the RHO standing for Ram High Output. It essentially includes all of the off-road goodies that you got from the TRX, but underneath the hood, we have a much more fuel-efficient but still equally potent 3-liter twin-turbocharged straight six. Now that we're finally seeing the new Ram RHO in person, let's go ahead and take a first look. Now, one of the things that made the old Ram TRX so special was its supercharged 6.2-liter V8, which was essentially the motor from the Hellcat. Now, that motor, as you guys know, was incredibly quick. It made great noises. However, it was also very fuel thirsty. It didn't really meet emissions regulations. So Ram has essentially replaced it with the most powerful version of the company's new 3-liter twin-turbocharged inline six. Now, as I mentioned in the introduction, the RHO stands for Ram High Output, or maybe even really high output, but this motor, you guys will know, I actually did shoot a full video on it in the regular version of the Ram 1500, is the company's new 3-liter twin-turbocharged direct injection Hurricane, that's what they call it internally, straight 6-cylinder engine. So if you're gonna replace a V8, I've always said a straight 6 is probably the motor that most people are gonna love. In this vehicle, Ram says they have made some improvements to the air intake, to the exhaust system, so it basically breathes and exhales better, and it also has dual oil pans, so it's able to, again, pull oil in if you guys are in certain off-road conditions, and it will never be starved of oil. Now, the power outputs, Ram says, are the same at 540 horsepower and 521 pound-feet of torque. That is a little disappointing on paper, but the company says that when you factor in real-world conditions, the fact that it breathes better, it exhales better, it has a new Baja drive mode. The company says that in the real world, it actually is making more power, even though it's not saying that on paper. Now, it all goes out through an 8-speed torque converter automatic built by ZF, and all versions of the RHO are going to come standard with the company's full-time 4-wheel drive system, of course, with a low-range transfer case, and it also has a locking rear differential. The company wasn't quite ready to talk about fuel economy of this engine yet, but we do know that it gets 15 in the city and 21 on the highway in the regular version of the Ram. The RHO expected to be a little bit less due to the tires. That is a far big improvement from the 10-14 that you got in the Ram TRX. The company also says you should expect to do 0 to 60 in around 4.6 seconds, which is actually on paper only 0.1 seconds slower than what Ram quoted for the old TRX model. Top speed, they didn't actually mention, but the old TRX was around 118 miles an hour. This vehicle does tow a little bit more. It maxes out at 8380 pounds. It also will carry a little over 1,500 pounds of payload on the bed. And because we no longer have that heavy V8 under the hood, this actually does reduce the curb weight slightly. The company said it's about around 200 pounds lighter, making this around 6,500 pounds. But let's go ahead and close up this hood and talk about the exterior styling. Now, first of all, you're gonna notice the first thing right away, and that's the hood scoop here. Ram says that's actually a functional hood scoop. It has the 3 little marker indicator lights because this vehicle is over 88 inches wide. You can see there's a big sticker there that says RHO. It also has the Hurricane high output badging there over the actual hood bulges. And overall, when you look at this truck, it really just looks exactly like the TRX to me. I mean, it has the new front fascia that Ram introduced for the refresh that I think really just elevates the truck's design. I really love the new full LED headlights. You can see it has kind of like a new LED light signature. It's got dual projector beam, LED low and high beams. No fog lights, or I'm sorry, the fog lights are down here. And you can see there's also a metal bumper at the front with the signature tow hooks. You also get, of course, upgraded skid plates, and this model here has roughly the same ground clearance as the old TRX at around 11.8 inches. In terms of the width of the truck, Ram actually says that they have widened it compared to a standard Ram by about 7 inches. So it's 88 inches wide. It's around 2 inches wider than a Raptor. And then if you look around the side profile, you can see this truck is also only available in one configuration. So it's the crew cab configuration with the 5.5-foot bed, which means you have a 145-inch long wheelbase with a 233.7-inch overall length. It's around almost an inch longer versus the old Ram TRX. Now, just like the TRX as well, you also have these 18-inch beadlock capable wheels riding on a 35-inch Goodyear Wrangler Territory all-terrain tire. You can see it's a 325 by 65 R18. You have these massive 15-inch brakes at the front and 15-inch brakes at the rear, along with the upgraded suspension. So there's around 13 inches of travel in the front suspension, around 14 inches of travel in the rear. You have the upgraded Bilstein shocks, along with these bulging fender flares. That's essentially where most of the width comes out of. Ram says that if you wanted, you could put 37-inch tall tires in this vehicle, but it will, of course, start to affect the fuel economy and the speed of the system. You can see there are some functional vents here, some more functional heat extractor vents here. You have this black painted side mirror here with the power fold feature, along with the integrated turn signals. If you guys are looking for a pano sunroof, Ram does offer it on the RHO. And I also love the fact that you have basically no chrome on the vehicle. It has a lot of black accents. You can see from this angle here, you know, if you didn't see the RHO badge, you really might think that you're probably looking at just the standard TRX. The look of the truck is very subtle in terms of the refresh. You can see there's a little bit of graphics there on the back, on the side of the bed, to show that you have, you know, the RHO. And if you guys are wondering, over there is the Rebel X. It's essentially kind of like an appearance package for the Rebel that gives you some different badging, some black accents. The Rebel is kind of like stage 1, and then the RHO is kind of stage 2. So think of this as a competitor to the standard Ford Raptor. The TRX was basically built to compete against the Raptor R. And you can see there's an RHO badge over here, along with Ram spelling out at the back. And then down here you can see on the exhaust system, first of all, you do have a full-size spare with matching wheel. There is a unique active valve exhaust system on this truck. Now, Ram says they've tuned it to sound much more aggressive and throaty, which that's one of the criticisms that I said about the regular Hurricane engine. It was a little too quiet. I can't fire it up here, but at some point I'll be able to drive one, and we'll talk about the sound of the truck. Then you can see the tailgate is power opening and closing, which is a nice feature. This particular model here also has the spray and bed liner. It's got all the tie-down hooks. It's got a little bit of power outlet and LED lighting in here. And like I said earlier, you can carry up to 1,500 pounds of payload in the bed. That's actually a 200-pound increase versus the old TRX, and it also has more payload and towing capacity versus its main rival, the regular version of the Ford F-150 Raptor. Now, moving on to the interior of the Ram 1500 RHO. If you guys have seen my review on the standard version of the Ram, well, standard is relative, this interior should be quite familiar. You can see this particular one that I'm showing you has a silver exterior color with the upgraded leather that you probably can get as part of an upgrade package. You can see the seats have RHO branding on them. You also have some contrast stitching. They are perforated. They also have some suede Alcantara, and these seats are also heated and ventilated, and Ram also will offer the massage feature if you guys would like. I'm assuming that's probably going to be optional. Again, it really makes the interior feel a lot more luxurious versus some of its rivals. As you can see, in terms of the door panel materials, you do have some soft leather with actual stitching, some genuine carbon fiber trim with some Alcantara. You have some alloy accented door handles. You can see it's nice and padded here. Down here, it is all hard touch plastic, but there's plenty of storage in the door pockets, and you also get the version of the Harman Kardon premium sound. I'm not entirely sure Ram's going to offer the Klipsch audio system that you can get on like the Tungsten, for example, but still the interior makes a really great first impression. I'm just hoping that Ram will offer the red interior to kind of go with the like a lighter color like this. Now, getting inside, you can see this particular model here doesn't have like any kind of step rails. So for somebody like myself, it's only 5'7", it's a little bit of a jump to get up here. But as I shut the door, you can hear the door has a really solid sounding thunk. And then just looking at the interior here, you can really see just how much Ram has upgraded it, although it also still kind of looks similar to the regular version of the Ram. So let me go ahead and turn the vehicle on. You can see here's the key fob for the vehicle. It's essentially the same Stellantis newest version of the Stellantis intelligent key. There is RHO badging here that's red accented to let you know you have a special version of the Ram. And then you can see, looking at the interior, I'm going to assume that this model here again has an upgrade package that gets you the bigger 14.5-inch display. Ram wasn't quite ready to talk about option packages. You can see you also have a fully digital 12.3-inch display. There's also a version of their hands-free cruise system, and you can see the steering wheel. It has a manual tilt and telescoping adjustment, which is nice. There's also these big paddle shifters on the wheel, which feel like they're actually accented in metal. There's contrasting stitching, along with a steering wheel that has a little bit more of a fatter grip with perforated leather. Overall, it definitely looks nice. You can see there's lots of buttons here to control that. screen over there, which is slightly customizable, along with your adaptive cruise. The upper portion of the dashboard here has some beautiful stitched leather with contrast stitching. You can see there's a little bit of storage here. And then there's also the availability of the 10.3-inch passenger screen over there, which I'm going to assume is an option. You can see this screen here is part of their Uconnect 5 infotainment system. It's one of the best infotainment systems in the industry. And this is the bigger 14.5-inch screen. I'm going to assume the 12-inch display is going to be standard. RAM kind of did away with the 8.4-inch screen in the pre-refresh model. You can see, unlike some rivals, you have some actual buttons here, which is nice for your dual zone climate, for your volume and your tuning. And your trailer brake controller is here. Your drive mode selector is over here. You can see if you start cycling the drive modes here, there's an auto, there's kind of like a custom, a mud, a snow. And right now, because the truck's an auto, it won't let me go to the other modes. So there's mud and sand, and then there's a Baja mode. So we'll have to get one out on the road sometime later this year. We can talk about how it drives, of course. You have a ton of USB charging ports here. There's the dual wireless phone charging pads. You have a traditional shifter for the 8-speed auto, which is nice. And then there's, of course, badging here to let everybody know that you have a special version of the RAM. It even shows where it's built. It shows the VIN, which is cool. You can see, open that up. It's a pretty deep center console area with a little couple of Easter eggs imprinted on the bottom of the actual center console area. There's a little more deeper storage over here. Deeper storage here. I apologize for how dark it is. It's kind of a little bit dark in the studio. Let me turn on the lights. You can see there's a little bit of storage here, which is nice. The seats, they definitely don't look quite as aggressive as the seats that you got in the old TRX. You can see there's perforated leather and stitching, and these are heated and ventilated as well, and they're massaging on the driver's side, which is nice. I really think the seats also are comfortable as I'm sitting in them. It's got like an adjustable headrest where you can go forward and up and down, which is nice. The badging looks good. And then the passenger screen, like I said, it has a filter where if you're trying to turn on the screen or look at the screen from the driver's side, you can't actually see the screen. This allows you to play movies on it, of course, which is a nice touch. You also have a digital camera, rear view mirror. If you guys, have things that are up into the roof, you can see the headliner has like a woven material. The big panoramic roof lets in a lot of light. And then if you open up the glove box here, you can see it's a bin style. It's damped, not lined with felt. But overall, there's a ton of storage in this vehicle. And if you guys like the interior of the regular Ram, this model essentially has all of the luxury and technology that you could ask for, along with a couple of changes to make it feel a little more special. I especially love the big screen. That's definitely among the biggest in the segment now at 14.5 inches. And I'm looking forward to getting this truck out on the road, and we can talk about a little bit more how it drives. But let's go ahead and hop into the backseat area of this truck, because Ram only offers it as a crew cab configuration, which means you have among the best legroom in the industry, or at least in this segment. You have 45 inches of legroom back here, which is essentially the same, of course, as the regular versions of the Ram. You can see that because the truck is 88 inches wide, you could easily fit 3 people across. Material quality back here is still the same high quality stuff with the carbon fiber, the stitch leather, and a lot of storage here on the upper and lower portion of the door panel. These seats also will allow you to flip them up essentially and find some storage over here, which is a nice touch. That window also slides back to vent a little bit of air. And then there's a nice grab handle here to help myself, who's really short, to get up in this truck. And you can see when I shut the door, there's just so much space. I mean, 45 inches of legroom makes it pretty much on par with like something like a full-size luxury sedan, like an S-Class, for example. The floor is also completely flat. There's some beautiful LED lighting in here. There's also heated and ventilated seats in the second row, which is a nice touch. More carbon fiber. You have 4 USB charging ports, an actual power outlet here, along with air-conditioned vents. If you fold this down, you can see there is an armrest that gives you 2 cup holders. You can see the storage here is just incredible because of how wide this truck is. It really allows for, again, 3 wider size adults to actually fit back here. So overall, if you want to use the Ram RHO as a family vehicle, just like the TRX, it's a pretty easy sell to your significant other because of all the space back here. And then in terms of the headroom, you can see with the pano sunroof at 5'7", it does get a little tight for somebody my height. So, keep that in mind. If you guys want maximum headroom, the pano roof does eat into your headroom space. So even though the Ram TRX is no longer in production for now, you can really see that the company has captured most of the essence of that truck with this 2025 Ram RHO. The suspension hardware is essentially the same. The look of the truck is also essentially the same, along with the upgraded styling that you get with the 2025 refreshed Ram. The interior also gets all the great tech features and that powertrain. I mean, if you guys watch my review of the standard Ram tungsten trim, for example, that powertrain I actually did 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds. The company says 4.8 7.6 seconds for this model, which again is only 0.1 seconds slower versus what Ram quoted for the old Ram TRX. But of course, with this straight six engine, you're going to get much better fuel efficiency, better emissions, and the company else has basically also said that this model, even though essentially it looks like a replacement for the TRX, they are saying that whenever they do decide to bring the TRX nameplate back, that is something they could potentially be working on, because they know the TRX has its place in the lineup. This essentially is Ram's version of the standard Ford F-150 Raptor. This is the direct rival to that. And of course, at this point now, there is no direct rival to the Raptor R because the TRX is no longer in production. But the company, again, was very keen on saying that when they're ready to showcase another TRX, they're going to be, very eager to show it to us. Now, the other great news about the new Ram RHO is the pricing, because when they took away that, very expensive to build supercharged V8, they were able to significantly lower the price tag of the RHO. So if you guys are looking to get this truck, it is available to order now at your local Ram dealership, and the pricing is going to start at $69,995. That's right, just under 70 grand, although it's plus $19.95 for the destination, to get one of these trucks that looks like a TRX. If you guys remember, the pricing for the 2024 TRX was around $96,000. So the company has reduced the price of the RHO by about 30 grand, nearly $30,000 in today's world where everything kind of gets more expensive. It's really refreshing to see this truck actually get cheaper. Now, we don't have final pricing, of course, with all the options that you can get with this truck. So I'll have to wait until at a later date when Ram's ready to talk about all the option packages that this particular model has here. If you're going to look at the direct rival, the Ford F-150 Raptor, the Raptor starts at around $78,000. It has around 90 horsepower less, keep in mind. So there's a lot of value for money here with the Ram RHO, and I think it's really going to tempt a lot of people who are looking for a factory-built off-road truck. But again, you don't want to spend almost $80,000 on a Raptor, and you also want a straight six that has more power, supposedly better fuel efficiency. It'll have the same capability of the Ram TRX because the company says that basically the same suspension hardware. This truck will also be able to ford up to 32 inches of water. So I'm super excited to actually get behind the wheel of this truck. I'm also super excited for Ram to hopefully eventually bring back an actual TRX replacement, although for now this is definitely going to hold us over, especially when you consider the price. So if you guys are looking to get your hands on one, be sure to go to your local Ram dealership. You can order it, and Ram says deliveries are going to start in Q3 of later this year. But with all that said, hope you guys have enjoyed my full overview on the brand spanking new 2025 Ram 1500 RHO. If you're also looking to see the latest trucks I'm testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Redline_reviews, like us on Facebook, and as always, guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.